Y'all ever had something on your mind you felt like you just had to get out? That's this video. Stick around. Hey everybody, what's up? It's Buddy from 2 Alpha Tools. Hope everybody had a good day. I had a good day driving home from work right now. We're going to call this one for the road. This afternoon thought. I got an email that I thought was interesting. It was from the Home Depot. They're promoting a tool. Promoting a Ridgid, the cordless ratchet, and I went off on a tangent as to why Harbor Freight gets it right. Confused yet? Don't worry, it should make sense by the end of it. So, if you haven't seen any of the Bears videos from Dedina Tools, you really should. But he explains how Harbor Freight started off with the whole 3 tiers of good, better, best. Or really, they sell it that way in the stores, and you can see the good, better, and best. Now, at Harbor Freight, your good level is your Chicago Electric, better being Bauer, and best being Hercules. Now what Harbor Freight does, and the reason why they get it right, is because with their good tools of the Chicago Electric, they give them a little bit of floor space, but not a lot. And that's for your, little DIY weekend warrior types. Goodness with the traffic. Your better is going to be Bauer. The tools are definitely better than Chicago Electric. Better reviews, better all around. More bang for your buck. And your best is going to be Hercules. Hercules, they get a little bit more floor space, if you will, than Chicago Electric, but not all of the floor space. Most of it is really given to Bauer. So they've gone with the good, better, best, and I think they do that perfectly. Now, the Bear recently talked about TTI and Chevron, who have also incorporated this good, better, and best. But I want to throw somebody else in for my analogy here with Stanley Black & Decker. Now we'll start off with just going through TTI and Chevron. Essentially, TTI's good, better, and best is going to be your good at Ryobi. You can even throw a heart in there for this, because it's also owned by TTI. Better being Ridgid, and then best obviously being Milwaukee. So when you go into, and these are all going to be sold exclusively at Home Depot with the Ridgid and Ryobi. And for Ridgid, we're talking about Ridgid Power Tools, obviously owned by TTI, where Ridgid is actually owned by Emerson. Go back to the point before I get off on a squirrel here. For TTI, when you go into any Home Depot, there are tons of Milwaukee tools everywhere. All their power tools and equipment and all that, because that, they think of it as, or the way I can want to put it is, think of it as like having kids. I've got 2 kids, okay? And for anybody that's a parent, I'm sure you've been told about what happens if you have that third kid, right? If you got the third kid, normally the middle child could suffer from your middle child syndrome. And middle child syndrome being that you love them, but they're not, you know, they don't get all the love like the baby does, or the firstborn. The firstborn it being, you know, getting most of the love here. So with going back to TTI, Milwaukee would be essentially the firstborn. Not that TTI had Milwaukee first, but they treat it as such. That's their firstborn. They give them all the love, right? That's their golden child. And then for their good, going all the way down to the good, that's going to be your Ryobi, right? Ryobi is going to get a lot of floor space as well, because they're going to treat that one like the baby. That is the baby that's going to get, you know, make a lot of their profits just like the golden child. Then in the middle is where you got rigid. Now with rigid, I feel like they're suffering from that middle child syndrome. They don't get all the love, you know. They need to. They need to get more. They're definitely better than the Ryobis, but they're just gonna suffer from middle child just because of, you know, TTI also owning Milwaukee and wanting to treat that one as the firstborn. Don't believe me? Look at Emerson. Emerson's doing the exact same thing. Or not Emerson, but look at Shervon. Shervon's doing the exact same thing. Because if you think about it, Flex and Cobalt, who are both, you know, for the power tools, are owned by Shervon. With Flex will eventually have as much floor space as Milwaukee. I truly believe that Shervon has entered TTI with Flex. And then with Cobalt, their power tools that are made by Shervon, that's their baby. That's their good level of tools. And they're going to have a lot of floor space. Now, I don't see Cobalt power tools essentially getting as much floor space as, say, Ryobi is over at Home Depot, but they're definitely gaining back floor space from Craftsman, from what I can see. And obviously, Craftsman being the Stanley Black & Decker, like I said, I'll get to that one. So, with Shervon, they spend a lot on, you know, promoting their Flex, and they want their Flex to get out there. And then they also do the same thing with Cobalt as far as the floor space. Now, what's their better? They're better being skill. I have the skill 12-volt lineup, and I love it. All their 12-volt is brushless. They should be promoting that way more than what they already are. The 12-volt, it's a great lineup. Reasonably, you know, inexpensive. Just a really good tools all around, and they're adding more, but not as much as I would like. And see, I feel the same thing about TTI and Rigid. If you're going to use, you know, that authority to make their power tools, and the power tools are actually pretty good, you need to promote that. But then it also goes back to Stanley Black & Decker. I don't feel like Stanley Black & Decker essentially is doing the good, better, best, because they're the family with too many kids. Where somebody said, you can just stop at 3, and they said, no, we want a whole yard full. We don't care. We're just going to buy whatever we can, and we're going to promote them however we want to, right? I mean, if you're going to throw that out there, yes, they do have their DeWalt, and they've done their deal with Craftsman, and they're just going to keep going. They need to calm down, Stanley Black & Decker, and just, you know, stick to the good and better and best. It is working for Harbor Freight. You cannot like Harbor Freight, that's fine. Who am I to tell you, you know, what stores you should like? I'm just saying, when you look at the price value, I mean, even other channels like Torque Test channel, they've even shown that with the Hercules, with the tool that you're getting at the price that you're buying it at, it's really good, really good. Not even getting into the warranty kind of thing. It's just, you know, if I wasn't already in the Milwaukee and the Skill and the Flex lineup, I would consider going to Hercules. Just, you know, it's what we search for, bang for your buck, right? So I really feel like, I don't know, in my personal opinion, Harbor Freight, they're getting it right with their good, better, best. And Rigid and Skill, they need more love. It's that middle child syndrome, right? Anyways, that's my rant. Hope y'all have a good day. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. And if you feel different, please share your opinion in the comments below. Get down to that bleacher section and let me know how you feel.